Today's devotion is found in the book of 2 Kings, chapter 21. I'm going to be reading verses 1 through 9. The Bible says Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 50 and 5 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Hephzibah. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, after the abominations of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. For he built up again the high places which Hezekiah his father had destroyed. And he reared up altars for Baal, and made a grove, as did Ahab king of Israel, and worshipped all the host of heaven, and served them. And he built altars in the house of the Lord, of which the Lord said, In Jerusalem will I put my name. And he built altars for all the host of heaven in the two courts of the house of the Lord. And he made his son pass through the fire, and observed times, and used enchantments, and dealt with familiar spirits and wizards. He wrought much wickedness in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger. And he set a graven image of the grove that he had made in the house, of which the Lord said to David and to Solomon his son, In this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, will I put my name forever. Neither will I make the feet of Israel move any more out of the land which I gave their fathers, only if they will observe to do according to all that I have commanded them, and according to all the law that my servant Moses commanded them. But they hearkened not. And Manasseh seduced them to do more evil than did the nations whom the Lord destroyed before the children of Israel. Manasseh became king at the age of 12, and he reigned in Israel for 55 years. Manasseh is the son of Hezekiah. Hezekiah had been one of the few good kings that Judah had after the kingdom had been divided into two parts, the northern part of Israel, the southern part of Judah. Hezekiah had instituted some good things in the land, and had removed the idolatrous influences that preceded him. But under the leadership of Manasseh, much of that was undone and taken to new levels of depravity. It says in verse 2 that he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. After having a godly example of his father, it would seem that he just could not wait to do wickedly in the land. What took him in that direction? Why would he be so bent at such a young age to do wickedly? We do not have a specific, direct answer, but there is something about this that we can be sure about. He chose this path. These things became the desire of his heart. Hezekiah had chosen to do right when he became king. Manasseh chose the other direction. Certainly, he was influenced by others to go this way, but he would also have had the godly influence of his father. That path he rejected and chose the other instead. What is my point for this devotion today? It is the power of our choices. Our choices determine the path of life that we will take. We may have had the influence of godly parents in our lives, but we still make the choice to either reject or receive that influence. How sad it is to reject the right and to accept the wrong, and then to be one of those that influence others in that direction. Manasseh certainly did that. Let us be very careful in the choices that we make. Let us seek God and do His will. As you are navigating today with all of its influences, choose the right. Let us think on these things.